Who's the interpreter?
She's for another matter.
Oh, okay. On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christina Renee Bryan in file number 22-00224FY. Ms. Bryan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
Okay, today's the date and time set for an arraignment on a probation violation. I do have a request and summons for probation violation here, and it alleges that you have violated the terms of your probation by committing the following technical violations. One, that you failed to make payments on fines and costs. It says no payments were ever made. And two, that you failed to provide verification that you had a new counselor. So you have the right to have a contested hearing in this matter. You have the right to be represented by counsel at that hearing. If you're found to be in violation of your probation terms, your probation status can be revoked or it can be extended, or you could have additional sanctions or oversight imposed. If it's revoked, you could face a term of jail time. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. May I address something real quick, please, and thank you?
Not at this time. Did you want to request an attorney to represent you?
Yes, but it was about my fines, Your Honor, that I did make a payment yesterday through the court.
Okay. Now is not the time to address any of the defenses because you need to be counseled by an attorney if that's your request, okay? And if you have any defenses and they represent you, then they will make sure that the court is made aware of that at the appropriate time. And I don't want you to say anything that would implicate your guilt without you waiving rights, and we're not waiving rights at this time, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so at this time, we'll enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. And then we'll note that you're requesting court-appointed counsel. We do have Mr. Lee here from the Public Defender's Office, and he can meet with you today to get your information so that you can be prepared for a hearing if necessary. We will set this for a hearing on the probation violation.
July 17th at 1:30.
On July 17th at 1:30, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor.
No problem. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Lee, can I put her in the room with you?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Hello, how are you doing today?
One moment, so, ma'am, you're not in the room with them yet. Give me just a second.
Oh, my bad.
No problem. Let's see. Room one. And Mr. Lee, I'll put you in room one. Did that lady hang up? That was in there?
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
I see Tiandra Gill here, and then I see Millicent Scheck.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, excellent. We're on the record in the matter of McLaren Greater Lansing, formerly doing business as Ingham Regional Medical Center, a Michigan corporation, versus Tiandra Gill, file number 17-00561 GCD. Counsel appearance, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Millicent Scheck appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay, and then Ms. Gill is present without counsel. That's accurate, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, today was the date and time set for a motion to set aside installment payment order. We received a motion to set aside an order of installment payments back on May 31st, 2023. States here the defendant was in an installment payment agreement to pay $100 per month commencing December 1st, 2022, and that the defendant had made payments of $100, it looks like, in December and March, $200, but then no further payments has been received. I think we received a response from you, Ms. Gill. Indicating that you have been on FMLA status as your daughter was a survivor of a fatal motor vehicle collision and has a 24-hour certificate on total disability. It says all monies were up to date until April 2023. You're asking for the plaintiff to grant you some grace as you are looking to restart your payment plan when you get back to work. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then you have filed, it looks like, some paperwork indicating your FMLA status. Did you get that paperwork, Ms. Scheck?
I did, Your Honor. It was copied. A copy was provided with her response.
Okay, did you want an opportunity to meet with her privately?
Sure.
Okay, I will go off the record and you all can discuss privately and see if you can come to a resolution. Let's see. Put you in room 1.
Thank you.
No problem. What's your name, ma'am? Desiree Henry. Okay. Mr. Lum is here. Where did he go though? He must be in the hallway somewhere. I don't see. Essence Taylor, I don't see. Terrell Green.
That's
Where?
in the courtroom.
Yeah, that's Essence. Oh, okay. You Essence Taylor? Tanner?
Tanner, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's bring. the- Motion to set aside judgment. Okay. On the record in the matter of Lita Karamai versus Essence Tanner. File number 16-01017 LT. You can come up to the front, ma'am. And it's Lita Carmi. You can unmute, please.
I am here via Zoom.
Okay, thank you. And you do not have an attorney representing you, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and then your Essence Tanner.
Correct.
Okay, today's the date and time set for a hearing on a motion to set aside judgment in this matter. Ma'am, you filed a motion to set aside judgment. You say you want the judge to dismiss the judgment because you paid her $2,000 after your last court date and you moved out. It wasn't until you was trying to
I was
move.
to move into a new place where I knew it was still attached to my name.
Okay, so you had a court date back in March
2017.
2016, and you signed, at least your signature is here, consent judgment.
Yes, and after that, I paid her in cash when she came to the residence. There was no receipt. She was supposed to add on my roommates to the lease. That didn't happen because I decided to move out. After that, I paid her an additional like $1,200. It was during tax time. I paid her the rent and I paid her for me moving out early because at that time I was still young. I didn't know if I month to month. I didn't know. What I know now, I didn't know this.
Okay. Ms. Carmine, did you want to respond?
She did not pay anything at all. So that judgment is still in effect. And it's been over 7 years now that she is calling to get this resolved. She should have gotten it resolved a long time ago. So
Okay, First and foremost, I don't know that you have a legal standing for your motion, which is to set or to dismiss the judgment. You can't dismiss the judgment that you waived your rights for against. You waived the rights and entered by consent this judgment. You understand that?
I do now, then I didn't.
Okay, well, your rights were listed on this paperwork here that you signed.
Yeah, I went over this with my mom and she explained like when I did that, I was acknowledging that I knew I owed her. And at the time I did, but I paid her after that. And then I moved out of the residence. I didn't know that she didn't remove it until I'm trying to just get an apartment and they're running my name and they're like, oh no, you have this judgment. My current landlord, I don't know how it didn't pop up where I am now,
Okay,
but because he's selling the house, I'm like, okay.
okay. Now, you entered by consent a judgment. Just because you paid the balance on the judgment does not mean that the judgment gets dismissed. Do you understand that?
No, I don't.
Okay, so that, and I recognize you were young when you did this. You're well outside of the period to come before the court on something from 2016, but I did want you to have your opportunity to be heard and understand where you may need to be careful in the future. You entered a consent judgment waiving your rights, and you said that you would pay the amount under this judgment of $1,941.30. That was a money judgment that you said you would pay. Just because you pay it doesn't mean that she now needs to dismiss it. If you have proof that you paid it, you can request that she file a satisfaction of judgment. She can't dismiss the judgment because of that. She's now saying that she's not received anything, which is opposite of what you're saying, correct?
Yeah.
And so you say you paid in cash. Terrible, terrible decision. But again, you were young. And so unless you can find some other way that you could prove that you paid her this judgment, it's going to be your word against hers. I don't see where she has been seeking any recovery or anything like that under the judgment.
Yeah.
But she's indicated here on the record today that she's not received any money on the judgment. I know you said that you did pay it and that you have a witness indicating that you paid it.
Yeah, my sister, we were on the steps when she came to the residence. She was supposed to come to add her to the lease. But we said, don't add her to the lease because we're gonna be moving out. We're just gonna pay you what you said you were owed on the judgment. And we're gonna move out, and that's what we did.
Okay, and so you say you vacated the property and moved somewhere else. There's no bank records that reflect the withdrawal of this amount during that time. Nothing that supports that you paid that amount.
No, and I hate that it was so long ago. Like I didn't even know until now. I'm like, what? Oh man.
Okay, I apologize, but unfortunately, there's no recourse under the law that I can grant you to remove this judgment from your record at this time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for the court?
No, I do not.
Okay. Good luck to you, hon. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Carmine.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am. Ms.
she
Tierney, you
wanted
want to
to-
wait? You can ask a question. I'm sorry?
So if she decides to pay me, can I file to get it off or?
If she pays you and you decide that you want to go and dismiss the judgment, that's up to you. You could do that.
Yeah, and I texted her and I said, it's to your best interest to pay up after all this time and give the court the money, and then I will dismiss it. And that was maybe a week ago or 3 days ago, I don't remember. But she hasn't responded. So I am sorry for her situation, but that judgment still stands. And I thank you very much for your decision.
Thank you. You did hear what she stated, ma'am?
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Have a blessed day. Bye.
Same to you. Thank you.
Mhm.
You're all set. I just wanted to
Thank you.
make sure you heard what she had to say.
You guys have a good one.
Same to you. Okay, let's see. Mr. Lum is here. We have Miss Henry. I don't have the other 2 people here. Ms. Carmine, you're free to go.
Yeah, I'm trying to log out here and I don't know what happened.
Oh. No worries, I'll assist you.
Let's see.
Okay. Shelton, not here. We have Bill in the waiting room. We're on the record in the matter of NV Funding LLC versus Jarrell Green in file number 09-04431 GC. Appearance for the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Keith Sparks on behalf of LVNB Funding, P77485.
Okay, today was the date set for a hearing on a motion to set aside default judgment. This matter was scheduled for 2 o'clock. It's 2:12. No one has appeared on behalf of Jarrell Green. The court's reviewed the motion, which is the only thing currently in the file because of the age of the case. The defendant requested the judge to dismiss the claims and stop the garnishment of this debt, and that he has no knowledge of or obligations to pay. The court did review the register of actions for this file, and indicates here in the court record that on August 16, 2009, the defendant was served a summons and complaints personally. So he was personally served and would have had personal knowledge of the lawsuit and failed to appear and defend the lawsuit. Therefore, the motion is denied. Also denied for the reasons that it's well outside of the statutory time frame to file a motion to set aside default. For those reasons, the motion will be denied. Can you, let me see, it's in order in here. Can you provide me with an order, please, Mr. Sparks?
We can submit an order under the 7-day rule if that's fine, or do you want us to email it to the court?
Yes, you can email it to Judge Simmons Courtroom at lansingmi.gov.
Sorry, what was the first half of the email address? Judge
Simmons Courtroom at lansingmi.gov.
Thank you. I'll have an order emailed over today.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I was here also on a case with a defendant named Jarrell Green. Is that on the?
Sure are.
Okay.
Yep, he filed more than one.
Okay.
My understanding is there's 4, but I was only lucky to have 2.
Okay.
You're next. We're on the record in the matter of Asset Acceptance LLC versus Jarrell Green in file number 11-03147 GC. Counsel appearance.
Afternoon, Your Honor. William Hill, P28608. I'm appearing as coverage counsel for asset acceptance.
Okay, and today was the date and time set for a motion hearing on the defendant's motion to set aside a default judgment from 2011. Defendant claims in his motion, he asked the judge to please dismiss the claims and stop the garnishments of this debt as he has no knowledge and or obligations to pay. We did receive a response from the plaintiff's counsel addressing the reasons why this motion should be denied. The defendant was served personally based on the register of actions. The defendant was served on August 15th, 2011 with the summons and complaint by personal service. Default judgment was entered after the defendant failed to appear and defend this lawsuit. Furthermore, the defendant is well outside of the time frame whereby he can lawfully file a motion to set aside default judgment. For those reasons, the motion is denied. The defendant has failed to appear. It's 2:16. This matter was set for 2 o'clock. Let's see. Did you, if your office or Mr. Smith's office could file or submit an order, I'll be happy to sign that.
Okay, thank you. I'll have Stephanie Petway, attorney of record, submit an order to you under the 7-day rule.
Okay, sounds good. Any additional matters for the record?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay. Back on the record in the matter of McLaren Greater Lansing versus Tiandra Gill. The parties did meet privately. Ms. Scheck, did you all come to a resolution at all?
Your Honor, I had a proposal. I believe Ms. Gill is on board, but I'm not sure if she would like to voice an opinion. I understand her situation, that she's had an accident. She's not getting paid right now. What I proposed doing, she said that she's going back to work on the August 1st, I believe. She should have a paycheck by August 15th. What I'd like to do, Your Honor, is I would like to set aside the installment payment and move to an informal installment payment of $100 a month like she was doing, have that due August 15th. And then if she misses a payment, my client can move forward with a garnishment. This is a 2017 judgment. We did not start getting payments at all until we did a garnishment. We received payments from July 25th of 22 to November 28th of 22. And then we only received $300 on the installment payment. So I'm okay with giving her another opportunity, Your Honor, but in the event that she does not keep up with that in August, I'd like to move forward with a garnishment.
Okay, Ms. Gill, did you want to respond? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. From the beginning of this onslaught of information, again, I was never served this notice. That signature that they have on that notice that they served me this is still something that's beyond me. I did not live at that address when they advised that they served me this information at this address. I wasn't residing there. And it has been very tough. You know, this $3,000 bill that just came out of nowhere for me to just go into my budget and pay. And I've been doing the best that I can with that. And so I did ask the court today to, you know, allow me time to get back to work. I don't know if when I go back to work on July 31st that I'll have a check on August 15th, because I would believe I would have to work 2 weeks before I get a paycheck. But, you know, however it happens, that when I go back to work, the first thing that I don't have to look at is for $300 or $400 of my paycheck being garnished. Like, that's what I'm trying to avoid, because I feel like this has just been a money grab.
I recognize the issue that you have at stake. You know, I heard your concerns about the underlying judgment. Of course, today is not the time to address the underlying judgment, because the judgment is beyond the time frame in which it can be set aside as far as a default judgment was concerned. And then we're only here to address the installment payment order. It looks like you were making at least a good faith effort to make those payments, at least up until you had the unfortunate situation involving your child, which you've also provided evidence to the court that you are currently on FMLA. And I appreciate Ms. Scheck meeting with you privately and trying to see how they can propose a way to address this. What I am going to do, however, is I'm going to reset this very hearing for after August 15th. And then that way we'll know if you're back to work at that time. I don't feel comfortable with setting aside setting aside an installment order under these circumstances, and then putting Ms. Gill in a position that if she doesn't get a paycheck or one that's sufficient to pay the informal amount on the 15th, she's faced with a garnishment under the circumstances in which she's in. So I'll address this again after August 15th.
Can do
Thank you.
at 8:30.
August 17th at 8:30. Well, let's do that. Wait, Ms. Gill, what time would you be working on August 17th?
8 to 5, Your Honor.
Okay, well, do you get a lunch break?
Yes, ma'am, from noon to 1. If you would like me to need to take it at 11, I can take it then, or take it at 1.
Let's do it at 1 o'clock. We'll do it at 1 o'clock.
August 17th at 1, Your Honor.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, any additional matters for today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Gill, any additional matters for you today?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, you're all set.
Appreciate the court's time. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Oh, boy. Security. Well, I don't know. I thought we were coming in because we needed a hearing. I didn't know that we were gonna try to negotiate.
But remember, it was cyber first, so she probably.
Got it. Got it. Well, I'm ready to call the case. On the record, in the matter of Edgewood Villas versus Desiree Henry, file number 22-03865 LT. We come up to the table. And place your appearance on the record.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Brian Lum on behalf of the plaintiff.
Okay.
I recently substituted in Mr. Cyber.
Okay, and then Ms. Henry is present without counsel today, correct, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Today was the date and the time that was set for a hearing. And this is for an eviction for non-payment of rent. Back in May, Ms. Henry represented to the court that there were some concerns about the habitability issues, which is why she had not been paying her rent. Are you ready to proceed to a hearing, or have you all resolved this matter?
I have a hearing on
Okay, how are we proceeding?
call my witness.
Okay, you say you are having a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you ready for it? You can have a seat. Okay, you're gonna call your first witness, Mr. Lum.
Yes, Your Honor. I would call Martha Ellert.
You're gonna come up this way. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Okay, you can have a seat there. And I need you to state your first and last name and spell both of them.
Martha, Martha, Ellert, Lert.
Proceed, counsel.
Good afternoon, Ms. Ellert. What is your position with Edgewood Villas?
Residential manager.
And as a residential manager, do you have knowledge of the units and payments?
Yes.
And is there any other pending or resolved litigation, Ms. Henry?
This is, yeah,
And is Ms. Henry in possession of 1254 West Edgewood Boulevard, number 6 in
Yes.
Lansing? And does this tenancy involve regulated housing?
yes,
And to your knowledge, was the unit fit for residential property, kept fit for the intended use, and at reasonable repair during the term of the lease?
yes,
And this was filed for non-payment of rent, correct?
correct.
And as your duties, in your duties as residential manager, do you prepare a payment ledger?
Yes,
And if I showed you a ledger for that, for Ms. Henry, would you recognize it?
yes,
Your Honor, may I? Exhibit 1 has a payment ledger. Or may I present to my client to review?
Yes, did you show or give her a copy of that already?
I did, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, you can have her identify with the documents.
Show the copy, Your Honor.
Well, it hasn't been admitted yet. She has to describe what that is that she's looking at.
payment ledger for Desiree Henry.
And on the payment ledger, what is this track?
Excuse me.
What is the payment ledger track?
Tracks any charges on the account, rent charges, water, sewer, utility charges, late charges, and it tracks payments and balance.
And is this the payment ledger you prepared for Desiree Henry?
Yes,
And what is the current outstanding balance?
current balance is $7,827.30.
And what does that include? Is that rent?
That
Utilities?
includes rent, water, sewer, bill back, and any late charges assessed.
And when was the last payment made by Ms. Henry?
The last payment was made August 1st of 2022,
And how much was that?
$600.
And since that date, there have been no other payments, is that correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, I'd move to admit the ledger as Exhibit 1.
How is this document generated?
It comes directly from the property management software.
Okay, so you just print it? I can't. hear
Yes,
ahead now.
sorry.
Thank you. Okay, and is this document kept in the regular course of business?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any objections to this exhibit?
Yes, a lot of them.
What's the objection?
Well,
Well, an objection is different from you disagree with what's
Oh, okay.
stated on
No,
there.
I don't.
Okay, because you'll have an opportunity to talk about why you disagree with that. Your exhibit is admitted.
Can I approach your Honor?
You may.
And as you're, Ms. Ellert, as you're in your position as resident manager, are you aware of the process to make maintenance requests?
Yes.
And how is that done?
The resident may contact the office by phone. If no one answers, they may leave a voicemail. They can do it in writing via our Dropbox. They can come directly into the office, or they can email, or they can do it through the resident portal that is attached to the software.
And has Ms. Henry made any maintenance requests?
Recently, the most recent was a correction from her housing inspection for her voucher.
And are those requests, how are those handled on the maintenance side?
They are generated in the software by myself or by the leasing agent. And then the maintenance side automatically receives them on their end and they're notified.
And is there a time frame that is supposed to complete the request by?
Generally, requests, they like to get them completed within a week, depending on the nature, so it really depends on what type of requests they are and how urgent they are.
And are you aware of any maintenance requests that, or Ms. Henry, that have not been completed?
There is one current in writing that we got from her inspection from the housing agency that pays for her voucher that is still outstanding.
Other than that, you're not aware of any other maintenance
No.
issues? I don't have any further questions at this time.
Okay, you said that Ms. Henry has a housing voucher?
Yes.
Okay, who's that through?
Lansing Housing.
Yeah, OHC.
She's under oath, not you, so she has to
Oh,
answer.
I'm sorry.
If she doesn't know, she can just say she doesn't know.
Lansing Housing Commission,
Okay, do they pay her entire rent or a portion?
a portion.
How much of the rent do they pay?
I do not know at this time. I don't have the subsidy ledger. I only have the resident side.
Okay, has Lansing Housing been paying her rent?
Yes,
Okay, so what I have here as a ledger is just the portion that she owes?
correct.
Okay, and Lansing Housing has been paying it up to date?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions for this witness, ma'am? Ms. Henry? You can question this witness.
Or as in like when her thing that I didn't make any request for maintenance I did in November that they created.
You're asking her questions, not giving testimony.
Oh, okay, well, I don't have any questions for her other than I'm just waiting on my turn. I don't have nothing to say.
Okay, no questions for this witness. Okay. This witness may be excused from the stand at this time.
I don't even know her.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, are you going to give witness testimony today?
I didn't know I could have witnesses.
Or are you gonna give, you can't have witnesses, this is, you requested a hearing. So you're gonna give testimony today?
For myself, yes.
Yes, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can proceed to explain your defense.
Well, basically, I've been living in this apartment, and when I moved in the unit, it had bugs in there. I explained it to them that she was never there, so I couldn't explain it to her because I didn't never meet her.
What kind of bugs?
Like roaches and mice. They had the exterminators come out for bed bugs because my neighbors had bed bugs. And they was like, well, we just checking for bugs. I said, well, why? What happened to the exterminators coming over here for the bugs and the stuff over here? And then they was like, oh, we'll just have somebody else come out. So they said, wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks came by, nobody ever came. Another 2 weeks came by, nobody came. Called again, nobody came. She was never in this office at all. Okay, so I was like, all right, fine. I'm not even gonna keep on going back and forth with these people. Bam. Here comes November. I needed things done in the unit. Like the toilet, like just the ceiling leaking. And it was just like everything, like the stuff started crumbling down. I'm putting buckets underneath my stairway where we gotta walk up the stairs because the water is falling down into the bucket.
Did you make any work complaints?
I did that in November. They created one and then they deleted it. She never was there. I got the
How do
text
you make your work complaint or your request?
You
for
go into the
maintenance?
office and make it.
So you make them verbally? There's
Or you
no
can go
electronic-
online too. Yeah, you can go online. But
Have you
I
ever
went
made
in-
online
No.
work? Okay, so you made all yours verbal?
I went inside to the place with I can't remember her name, but I only dealt with her when I went into the office. And then there was another lady named Natasha that just started working there. And when she started working there, that's when I went into, so I only went into the office because my money order got stolen out of a Dropbox. So once my money order got stolen, and I was like talking to my neighbor, telling her like, they want me to pay again. I was like, I'm not gonna pay them again. I already paid them. I gave them the money order. She told me that was not gonna work because I never got paper from them. I said, well, that don't even make sense to me. How am I gonna get paper from you if I put it in your Dropbox? And y'all maintenance man was stealing people's money orders, not mine. So y'all fired him or whatever happened. The maintenance guy stole the people money orders. Damn, that happened. So I went back online paying because I was paying my money online at first. I stopped paying online and started paying back the money orders because I was like, oh, well, they got some different people in the office. And they just kept switching office people. It just kept switching. So every time it switched, never nothing got done. Maintenance will come and they'll say, oh, we're going to come back and fix it. I have a client that I do hair for. She was like, dang, they still haven't came and fixed the problem for you. This was already 2 months after I did her hair. She's coming back to get her hair done again. She was like, they still haven't came and fixed the problem for you. I was like, no, girl, they still ain't came and fixed it. And it's been a year now.
Okay, you need to provide me proof or evidence of where you made your complaints to, and the evidence of the conditions of the property.
I don't have no complaint. All I have is a text message where they created the order and then they deleted the order. That's the only thing I have.
Okay, you have a text message where they created the order?
Where they created the order in November and then they deleted the same day.
Let me see what you're talking about. And you don't have any pictures of this?
I got the ceiling pictures. I got the one that's in the bathroom where it's got mold all in there.
I need to see, you're claiming that you withheld your rent due to habitability issues and that you made a request for these issues to be addressed. You have to now prove that.
Yep, that's why you have to come in person and I'm here to prove it. I'm just trying to find this text message, the last message they just sent me. So here's the one where I put it in for November. They created it, they canceled it, they updated it. They put has been created and then they canceled it. They did a have been created, updated for canceled.
Okay, can you show that to Mr. Lum first?
November, right here, 6 at 8:59 p.m. work order. Both work orders, neither one of them was completed and they canceled. They say open to cancel. Both of them. And then that's when they started sending me these work orders. These are the ones that they just started on March. May, my bad, I'm sorry, not May, March, May. Created. Then they said that this guy was gonna come, he never came, that's the same work order, and they canceled it. Then they recreated another one on Wednesday. And the one that was created on Wednesday was because because Lansing Housing came in and inspected, and when they came in and inspected, they told me that basically he took pictures of everything. He took pictures of the ceiling, where the bathroom ceiling was, where there's mold all in there.
Okay, let me stop you. Work order number 170. 1705486 has been updated from open to cancel. And then there's another work order, number 1705489. It says it has been updated from open to cancel. And do you recall what these work orders were for?
All I know is I put them in for the toilet. I put them in for the door, the front door, my front door. This was when my key had like basically got jammed in the door. He came to fix that, but he's fixing that. He's like talking to me like really disrespectful. This was before.
What was the issue with the toilet?
The toilet is basically running. It's been running for going on a year now.
Okay.
And it's like the man just came in there and put a thing in there.
So these are work orders for a toilet and a door?
No, and then a ceiling.
The ceiling. Let me see evidence of the ceiling issue. So you never put in a work order regarding the roaches and mice?
No, only thing I was able to talk to her verbally. I only verbally talked to them about that. And I don't know if she put it in because she wasn't the manager, like I said. I don't know her. I seen her when I came in there to talk about my money order being stolen. Okay. That was the only thing that I seen. You just gotta press play on this. And it's worse than what it is now. But this is just me trying to show you that the water is literally leaking from the ceiling into the floor. I mean, into the bucket. And it's like, it's worse now though. Oh, sorry. Let me stop it first. And then in the ceiling in the bathroom, I had my daughter. I can have my daughter take a picture of it. I did take a picture, but I don't see it in there any longer.
This is in your living room?
Correct. And it's like worse now. So like this whole ceiling, all that paint, everything that's up there is gone. It's mold there on top of it. It's just, it's disgusting. It's like.
And you reported this?
Yes, we've been reported this.
When did you report it?
I reported this in November. Like I said, it started in November when I started seeing the whole, like the wall. But I knew it was like that when I first moved in because of the ceiling. You can see that the ceiling was already like a cave-in like type thing.
When was it repaired?
I guess it never got repaired. It still ain't repaired.
So today it's still leaking?
Correct.
It rained yesterday. Is it leaking?
It only leaks when like the toilet, from the toilet, like when they take a shower. If you take a shower in the water, like my kids, they take showers and sometimes they let the water like get on the floor and it leaks into the floor. So sometimes I gotta tell my kids, you know, when they got company over, they all be trying to take showers and it's like so many different kids taking showers that the floor is just like getting sopped up with water. And I tell them, you can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Y'all too old to be letting the floor get wet with water, especially when y'all know that it's leaking to the floor.
Okay. And you said that you are not familiar with Miss Ellert?
No, I didn't. I just met her the first time I went in there is when I telling them my maintenance. She had just got hired then. And I was telling them about my money order being stolen. I was like, well, my money order got stolen. And the lady stopped her.
No, when was that?
That was in July.
You met her in July of last year?
Yes.
It's not July yet. So that was before these issues then?
Yes. No. This was before the issue. Like she didn't know nothing about the issue.
June.
Because it started.
You met her in July, is what you're telling me.
Correct.
But you had issues starting in November.
Correct.
So you did know her?
No. This November started before that, before she came. This has been going on for 2 years.
2022 or 2021?
No, 2021. It started in 2021 where I'm talking about the stuff need to be repaired.
When did you move into this property?
I moved in this property in 2019.
2021, correct?
Correct. When I
and
moved
the
in
issue
here,
started happening in November 2021?
Correct. But the ceiling and stuff started happening after the fact. When she started coming here.
What's after the fact? I need a date.
Like after she started like working there. As soon as she started working there, that's when my ceiling started messing up. So like.
But how do you know when she started working there? Do you know?
Because I went into the
When was her
office.
first day there?
I don't know where her first day
So
was.
how do you know when?
I just know she was in there in July.
When you noticed she started working there is when
Well, when
I
I
need a
was
time
in there, the
frame.
lady was like, well, this is our new manager.
When did you first notice that you were having issues with the leaking ceiling?
Like I said, that was in November.
Of which year?
Probably, like I said, it
Not
was
probably.
last year.
Of what year?
Last year.
2022.
Correct.
Okay. And so she would have been working there then?
She had to be, because I said July, she started working there.
Okay. And so you say to date that ceiling is still leaking, correct?
Correct.
And you say you made a complaint?
Not for the ceiling though. Like the complaint for the ceiling was after the fact. I had complained to her about the ceiling. And that was in November of this year when I complained to her about the ceiling. But it wasn't her that I complained to, like I said, he stated before. It was another lady that was working in the office that I complained to. They made a work order. That was the lady that was working at the front desk. They didn't even have no office manager.
Okay, so you, prior to this hearing, you went to the residential management office and requested a copy of all your work orders?
No.
Okay, how did you prepare for this case then?
What do you mean? I just had the videos and the proof that I needed for the work orders. And basically this right here, they just gave me another one. They had sent me one of these in the mail. And I have a lot to say about this as well, because you can clearly see that she has 3 months of September rent on here. And every month I had late fees on for months that I paid my rent on time. I paid my rent before the time, and they still tried to say that I owe. This was even before she started working there when they was doing the late fee thing. And then I'm like, when I noticed it, like I said, I went in there and I noticed her in July when my rent got basically taken. After my rent got taken, I came in there. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Basically,
your rent was taken out of the lock box. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct, out of their office. So then I'm like, well, why would, you know what I'm saying, I not pay my rent on time? I said, I pay my rent every time a month. I've been paying my rent on time. I said, I actually been paying it with the card online because of it.
Okay, what is the portion of rent that you're required to pay monthly?
My monthly rent normally is supposed to be $636, but they had dropped it down to $501. Then they dropped it down to $100. But now they just dropped it down to nothing.
Okay, so your voucher is covering all of your rent?
That's what it's supposed to be doing, but it's not no more. I mean, it's supposed to start this month of covering all the month.
Okay, well, I don't want to know about this month because this is already pending.
Correct. And then they got extra months of like all this water.
How much does your voucher cover or during these time frames? That's what I need to know.
So I think if I pay $636 the rent, then over there. So they cover like $4 something,
Okay.
$430 or something.
Do we have evidence of how much you're supposed to pay a month and how much the voucher covers?
My monthly rent payment is $636.
Your monthly total?
For my payments is $636.
Your payments was $636?
Correct.
Okay. That's not including what your voucher pays, correct?
No.
What about water and sewer? That includes that?
The water is in the rent, and they had sent us a paper out saying that our water was gonna be, fluctuating or whatever. It would go from like $70 to like $100. My water since I've been telling them about that toilet in November, it has went up to 101, 110, 134, 127, $150 for water. That's just for water, not including lights.
Okay, so my question is that you're responsible per your lease for the sewer and water?
Correct. Well, they put that in our rent, yes, but in the thing is stated on the brochure, when you apply for the unit, it tells you what that's included.
Yeah, but my question was, what did your lease say? Because that's what you signed.
When I signed my lease back in 2021, back in 2021, because I've been trying to get in there since 2019. And 2021, when I signed my lease, no, we did not have to pay water, none of that. They started that stuff once the other company came in. Another company came in, another company come in, all these different people. Does
her lease require her to pay?
Section 11, Your Honor.
Now it does. In 2021, no, it doesn't.
Okay, this was a lease that you signed June 9, 2022. It does indicate that you are responsible for those things as of 2022. Okay,
But this water is not, I should not have to pay for something that's their problem.
what do you mean that's their problem?
That toilet leaking, that toilet is leaking and the ceiling is leaking, that's water that they're charging me for, because their thing was broken. The toilet was broken.
And you say you made a complaint about that.
I've been complaining about this. I've been complaining about this since
No,
November.
I'm talking about these work orders, because I don't know what these 2 work orders are for, and you can't tell me.
I
for
can't tell
certain
you
what
what
they
they were
are.
for because like I said before, it was so many different things that I explained to the lady at the office for my work orders prior to that, because at the end of the day, before they came here, before she came, there was a lot of different work orders that need to be done. And it wasn't even that, it was the wall.
Do you keep a record of work orders?
Yes, in the office, in the software.
Okay, I need a copy of all her work orders, please. Any other evidence that you want to submit at this time?
There's 3 months of extra rent on here that I'm supposed to be paying for.
Which
September.
month?
For September. There's September right here on July 1st, 2022. There's September. They got August 1st.
Wait, give me a moment. July 1st, 2022.
Right there, it says rent for $681. I don't know how I got to $1,000 in
It says
September.
September 22, September 15, residential partial? What does that mean?
That's because I don't know what that means, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know what none of that means, but right there's that July 1st, 2021. Then right here on August 1st, 2022. And then right here on September 1st, 2022. I owe $633, $636, $636, $681 on one of them. Then I pay my rent on the first, I pay my rent on their computer line online. And they still say that I owe rent late on the 6th for both of these months.
Of what?
Of the June 22nd, June 6th, 2022. And then we got May 6th, 2022.
Okay, I see Mace.
And then on there, you see that I paid.
2022 money order full.
Correct.
What do you see in late fee? Sorry?
Right above that is a $50 late charge. I believe it's because there's a balance carrying forward.
On May 6th, 2022.
So like right here, okay, if you go into March, I pay my rent on here. If I had the paper that I got at home, I can't find that paper, the same paper like this that they sent me. It's totally, this is different. This is a little different than what I'm looking at because they got extra months on here from now prior. But beforehand, they have right here, March 1st, I paid my rent on March 1st. I got a late fee of $50 on March 7th. Then on May, and on the paper that I,
calm down.
the paper that I have,
Calm down. You on March 1st, 2022, it says you paid by MasterCard $277.15. Is that what you're talking about?
that was when my rent was $217.
Okay, but you paid $277.15, is that correct?
Correct.
And then you're saying that there was a late charge
March 7th.
March 7th for $50, and you're disputing that, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
At this point, I didn't even owe them no rent at all. I didn't owe rent in no months until we got to September. When September came is that's when they started, that's when the issue came to bump for me. Is where I stopped paying the rent because like I said before, y'all not fixing nothing, y'all not doing anything y'all supposed to be doing. I'm not gonna keep on giving y'all my money. And y'all keep on sending these maintenance men saying that y'all fixing stuff, and then the maintenance man don't come. Right now, my fire detectors is not up in my unit. They've been out of my unit since Thursday because they came in there after the people came in there and told them that they needed to fix the problem. They came in there and got the fire detectors. All the fire detectors that was up on top of the ceiling, none of them was correct. None of them was correct fire thingies, that thing. He took all of them, and he has not brought the fire department the things back yet.
okay. You're saying that your rent,
This thing don't make sense to me.
okay, well, I'm gonna walk through it with you right quick. July 30th, 2021, it says you were charged $100. That's what was owed.
I understand all of this up till.
Don't talk over me. I'll finish this today. The $100 was what was charged to your account. It says your balance was $100. I don't see,
Deposit. They charged me $100 for a deposit, then they charged me $475 for rent. And the lady told me I wasn't supposed to pay none of that. My Section 8 workers.
okay, $100 I see was charged, and then I see there was a balance of $100. However, when you go to July 30th, the line right above that, it says that your balance is 0. And then it somehow comes to a balance, I believe this is supposed to be a negative balance of $11.74. So it looks like you were charged. I'm not following this. I need to recall your witness. Your witness needs to explain this to me. Ma'am, you can take the witness stand again, and you're still on the oath. You have a copy of this exhibit. Starting from July 2021, can you explain to me these charges and the balances?
She had $100 balance, and it looks like the credit.
I'm
was
sorry, are you
flush.
talking to me?
I'm sorry.
I need you to speak up.
I'm thinking out loud.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so July of 21, she starts with $100 balance.
Okay.
It appears as though internally in the system, someone likely on a corporate or management level applied $100 credit.
Okay. Is that what the quotations are for?
Yeah,
Okay.
then they applied an $11.74 credit.
Okay.
And in September of 21, she was charged $475 in monthly rent. And there was a payment applied from a money order of $475.
Okay, so she still had a credit then, or a balance of negative 1174 at that point then?
Yes,
Okay.
September, she's charged $45.23. 29th.
Why is she charged that?
That's likely, and it's hard to see the labeling, because it gets hidden because of the type of sheet it is. It's likely a partial water bill from her move-in, but I cannot be certain.
I didn't have a water bill with you guys.
Ma'am? I'll give you an opportunity to question her, but you don't get to just blurt out, okay? Okay, you don't know why she's charged, because there is a water sewer line, and it doesn't say that there.
Yeah,
It just says Desiree Henry, but we don't know what that's for.
I do not know what
Okay,
that's
so
for.
we're not gonna make up what it's for then.
I
We'll say
apologize.
we don't know what that is for, but that then puts her balance, I guess her rent must have been $475 at that time. Is that what she was responsible for?
Yes, she was billed $475.
Okay, so so when she pays her $475 now, she has this extra balance that we don't know what it's for.
Correct.
Okay, and then I see a water sewer in November 2021 for $71.74.
Yes,
Okay. And per her lease, she was responsible for water sewer in 2021.
yes, they were notified in September of 2021 when the new owners took over.
Notified what?
They were notified that the complex was under new ownership, and a notice was sent out to each and every resident during that
Did they
time.
sign a new lease?
They did not sign a new lease. They
Oh.
were notified for the sale.
That although they weren't responsible for this in their lease agreement, they're now responsible for it?
Yes, that the landlord was,
I'm taking it off. $74 for any water bills from November up until she signed this new lease, that can be taken off her bill. Keep
Okay.
going.
charged.
Can I take this? This is my daughter's school. She's at school.
Okay, we're taking a recess. She needs to call her daughter.
Okay.
Okay, we're back on the record. Okay, and we were up the ledger. I see the 475 payment, then there was the water bill for November 2021. And then it looks like, is that her rent being assessed now at 273?
Yes,
Okay, so did her rent change periodically?
it changes when her voucher agency reassesses her and notifies the landlord in writing that it has been changed.
Okay, so it looks like it changed, so she now is only responsible for 273. So, explain the balances here.
She was charged 475
Mhm.
in October of 21. She was charged a water bill. November of 21. Charged November's rent, 273. And then in December of 21, she's charged rent again of 273. And another water bill in December of 21 of 74.74.
Okay, so the issue there is there was no payments during those times?
Yes,
Okay. Let me catch up here, give me just a moment. Okay. So that's what's going on here. So she had rents assessed plus water bills, and then there wasn't another payment, it looks like, until January 2022. Is that accurate?
that's accurate.
Okay. And so she pays or makes a payment of 1528 in January 2022. However, her balance was assessed at the time at 1563.06, which still leaves her a balance of $35.06, correct?
Correct.
And when she's assessed her new rent for that month at 273, brings her balance to 308. Water and sewer at 91.86, bringing her to 399. She makes a payment of 399.92 with a MasterCard. She's a 273 assessment. I don't see where there was a payment then, and then there was $104.15 for water, making her balance 377.15. She paid 277.15, leaving her having a balance of 100. That would answer the question she previously asked about that $50 assessment, because there was still $100 balance after the payment of 277.15. Am I reading that accurate?
Yes,
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
they started charging a $50 late fees for water.
I see that very clearly here. I'm just gonna look at your lease. I don't have your initial lease. I do have a lease that you signed June 9th, 2022. So I will hold you responsible for water sewer from June 9th, 2022. I'm not holding you responsible for a letter that you received after you signed the lease that you're now responsible for utility. So we'll address that at the end. So I think that explains that question. What was your other question about?
The 3 months of September on here.
Oh, okay, very good. Can you explain, it's on the first page, I believe, it's, if you go to, at the bottom, it says July 1st, 2022, but then it says September 2022 and September 15th. Residential partial.
And then the other two are.
Well, one thing at a time.
There's on the ledger, if you go to the far left, there's a post date. and then there's a post month, and there's created on dates. So if anybody in the system ever makes a correction to a ledger and then it has to get approved by the manager supervisor, it's gonna always register under the created on date.
Okay,
It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the date that it was to be billed. It means that somebody paid attention to her ledger, went back in time and made a correction.
okay, so the correction that was made here was that she should be charged $681 for what?
So here's is July 1 of 22. Her rent should have been $681.
My rent didn't change until August.
Should have been $681. I'm trying to see. Was that the only month that she ever paid $681? Because I don't see where she ever paid $681.
This is done because of notices from the Housing Commission. So no. Sometimes they will temporarily bring it up or temporarily bring it down. And
They
then
only
they'll
went to
change it the
630.
next one.
Okay, so we're compiling a list of things I want to see. I want to see all the notices from the Housing Commission changing her rent so I can see exactly what she was supposed to be paying for those notices. And then I also want to see all of her work orders. So that July 1st was a manual change. That explains that. What was the next question, ma'am?
The all the September, I was trying to figure out, because this says September 1st right here, 2022, and then August 1st, 2022. I have September 15th, September 15th. They both, all of them say September.
Okay, I see. Let's see. Why on July 1st?
August.
Oh, that's the day they wouldn't made the manual change. So that would explain that they went in and made a manual change on September 15th, it looks like, of 2022. Is that accurate?
Would that be for 3 of them?
Yes.
Somebody's phone vibrating.
Yours, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 of them for September 15th. All 3 of them is September 15th.
It looks like the same date as when they went in and made all these manual changes, but I'll let her explain that. Is that what happened, ma'am?
Yes, these are manual changes made on September 15th. Would be created on date.
So they went in and manually changed her rent for July 1st, 2022 to $681, but they did that change in September 2022.
And August 1st.
Yes.
And then
August 1st, 2022. It's 2 of the August 1st right there.
you
It's
say
3
about
of them.
August 1st?
It's 3 of them. So you see where it says September 15th, it says September 22, September 15th, 2022, resident 366, 636. It's right above the one where it says water and sewer for August 1st, 2022. Where I paid them $600 the first month of August 1st, 2022.
I
and
see
then
that.
up
the
again,
MasterCard.
And then there's
Then
636
you go up,
again.
it looks like on August 1st, they went in, on September 15th, which is the same day they did this July 1st change, they changed your rent manually in the system for August 1st to $636.
And September 1st. was
And then September 1st, they did the same thing. So they went in and made these manual changes. Looks like,
3 times, but it's
Yeah,
only
they
been
wanna-
changed 1 time. My rent changed in September.
okay, well, they're gonna provide me notices that they received from the housing indicating that the rent was changed. Y'all tell me what the amount was. I also want to see their ledger from her voucher. Did you have any other questions about this ledger while she's under oath?
No, I just got that other, the late fee for the what's the name, but I know I paid my rent in June.
Well, we'll address the late fees after I have an opportunity to compare what was supposed to be paid and what was paid and when it was paid, as well as addressing water bills from 2021. Okay, you don't have any other questions for her while she's on the stand, correct? Okay, I don't either at this time. I just need to adjourn because I need to see a ledger for the voucher payments. I need to see her notices from the commission, housing commission about her change in rates of what she would be responsible for. And then I also need to see all of her work orders while she was in the unit. And we will get a new date for the continuance.
Okay. July 12th.
July 12th at 3. You have any questions today, ma'am?
Me, is there any way, like, can I have witnesses next time? Like people
Well,
that
you haven't
actually,
rested, so you can bring your witnesses.
the people that like live in the complex?
They're gonna testify what's going on in your unit.
I mean, they can testify what's going on in my unit, whoever unit is out
Their
there.
unit's not relevant. I need to
Okay.
hear about your unit because you claim that you had habitability issues in your unit.
Correct.
So you were supposed to bring me evidence that you were dealing with bugs and mice and leaks and all that. So you can bring all of those things.
I mean, I can take pictures of it, like I said.
That's what
before.
that's pictures and any evidence that can support that you had a habitability issue is what you need to bring
Well,
to prove
if
that.
can I bring my Lansing housing paper where they said all the stuff that needs to be fixed, they put there that the bugs and the mice is in there as well.
Is this from a recent inspection?
Correct.
Okay, because they inspected you.
This is
For
the first
recently.
time they ever came and inspected because of the fact that I never knew, this is my first time being on Section 8. I never knew nothing about Section 8. I didn't know that you can call them and make them come out and inspect. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I just found that out. And when I found that out, I had my sister give me the number.
Section 8 should have been doing a regular inspection every
They
year.
never came and did a yearly inspection either. Nope.
Well, bring whatever Section 8 letters you want to bring to present as evidence and we'll address it at that time.
Thank
But
you.
bring all of your support at the next hearing, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we're all set for today.
Have a good day.
You too.